Yeah, let's go. Shout out the mountain and fish. I got to again what's doing right for the culture. If you just here for the views and the likes and just put out no mic, you a vulture. They let me down, but the raps did it. They let me down, but the switch did it. They let me down, but the raps did it. They let me down, but the switch.
This is your boy Iggy.
It's your boy Woods.
You're now tuned into another episode of Hip Hop Hoops Podcast. Guys, I want to thank everybody who's been supporting us, man. Continue to keep supporting Hip Hop Hoops. We are not going anywhere. Notifications on, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Listen, man, I got to give you some credit today, man. Like, this is before we get on to the show, man. I just want to tell you, I got to shout out you, man. You know, I got to give you a shout out. This is just dedication. It shows how much you love this thing and how much you love doing it.
Yeah, man.
So I appreciate you and what you're doing to build this thing. Let's keep rocking out. My man here, he hurt his knee, popped his knee, cooking up those kids. Listen, kids, don't get it twisted now. I know you guys might think, yo, we're old farts, but we will still give you guys the business. Keep playing. Keep playing, man. Like, my man was out there cooking them Westview kids, and, you know, he popped his knee. Take us through that time. Like, how did it happen, man?
Man, it started off just a little one-on-one with the kids, you know, and then they wanted to go full court.
Uh-oh.
But half court, full court, you know what I mean?
Right.
And yeah, one thing led to another. I took it easy, man. I really did take it easy. First 2 games, just spot up shooting, transition tray balls, you know, shit that Woods does. You know what I mean? I took the first 2 games from these kids, and then, you know, it got serious. You know, some of my players, some of my up-and-coming players, was just like, yo, I'm guarding him. So once a man said, I'm guarding him, shout out Jadon, you know I love you. You're my guy. You know what I mean? But once he said, I'm guarding him, something just triggered in my head, like, who's this little ninja talking to? You know what I mean? So he was D'ing me up. He got a couple stops on me.
Right.
And, man, I just try to stop and go. I try to, like, really set him up for a stop and go pull. And I really did stop and go. I stopped. My body went. You know what I mean? Kneecap popped. I'm on the floor.
Oh,
you know what I mean? And I wanted to cry. Real shit. I wanted to bawl.
That's how much it was hurting.
It was burning. I never had an injury like that in my life.
Right.
But I was like looking at all the kids. So I just had to soldier it.
I
had to soldier it. I was cracking jokes. You know what I mean? I'm looking at the kids' reaction when they're walking past my knee. Because I could see my knee. I could see a little disfiguration, but I really couldn't see it. Because my knee was just up there in the air, like, and I was on my back. And I'm just looking at the kids, like, every time they walk by it, they're fixing up their face. And I'm like, oh, snap. You know, so shout out Westview, man. Shout out. You know, ambulance came quickly. You know what I mean? I got to Humber River. You know, shout them out. You know, they gave me. I got hurt on Wednesday. I went back. I got sent home Wednesday night. Thursday, I got home. I went back in the morning. Talked to the specialist. He was like, "Yo, you're gonna get a chance to have your surgery on Friday morning." I was like, wow, all right, let's do it.
That's crazy.
And he's like, in the meantime, put a little pressure on your leg. He doesn't want me just having it sit there and, you know, blood clotting up and all that.
Right.
So I guess I took that out of context.
Yeah.
Man, I was driving. I had some shit to do with my book up foot. You know what I mean? I had an athletic banquet to go to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Shout out Westview. They gave me Coach of the Year.
Right.
You know what I mean? Collected that and then went under the knife, man. And now I'm here, man.
Right.
And now I'm here, man. But shout out everybody that's been sending their wishes towards me, man.
Yes,
that was dope.
I was at the game last night, the Scarborough Shooting Stars game, and everybody was just like, "Yo, what's this? What's that?" So, prayers out to you, man. You know, for sure. Hopefully, you get a speedy recovery.
Definitely.
Back to normal. Now we know, man. Our knees can't take this weight.
This weight is different.
Yeah, we gotta get to our playing weight, or we gotta get our legs stronger. Either or.
You know? Definitely.
So, shout out to you. But
yes, sir.
Let's get into the show, man. We gotta talk about NBA playoffs for sure.
Oh man.
NBA playoffs. Game 1 in the NBA Finals happened last Thursday. This was a very interesting game, and it's like every time I talk about this man, this Steve Urkel nigga, like he just pulls the shit off. I just don't get it.
Are you gonna apologize, fams? He got out of the East.
I'm not.
He dealt with Brunson.
I'm not.
Everything that you said you were gonna apologize. He said
I said I was gonna apologize when he
if you
wins the
could
chip.
run that back, if he gets out of the East,
Is that what I said? The East or the championship?
If he beats Brunson and them dogs, you owe him an apology.
All right,
man.
well, okay. If that's what I said, I'm a man of my word. I apologize to this guy, Steve Urkel, for coming out of the East. You know, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna leave the shit alone because every time I speak about this dude, he does something like this. So I'm just done with this dude.
It is phenomenal to watch, and you can slowly see the changing of the guards in regards to super teams are kind of done now, or maybe it's just taking a back seat. But now it's like developing your team, depth, more than one guy contributing
because they had no one who scored. So Indiana, they had no guy that hit 20.
I think Pascal had 19, was Toppin 19. Had 17, yes. Turner had 15, Halliburton had 14 with the game winner. Yeah. You know what I mean? Nembhard, to me, was the player of the game.
He was the player of the game.
You know what I mean? He had 14, allowed 14, and Naismith had 10 points.
How much did how much did Halliburton have?
Halliburton had 14.
So it's so crazy because the whole game, they had this guy under control. Like, he wasn't doing anything. And then it was Nembhard. Like, Nembhard led that charge in the fourth quarter. He had the ball in his hands.
Yep.
He was leading the charge.
He was running the show.
Like, he was doing the pick and roll. You had a couple of shots by Turner. That was crazy. The off the backboard. They hit, like, how much threes did they hit in the fourth quarter? I know they made 18 threes. They were 18 for 19 with threes. So some context in the game. So one thing I didn't like was OKC changed their lineup. They went small. They did force more turnovers. Yeah. They forced 25 turnovers. Right. But they only scored on 11 of them. Right. So they weren't scoring on the turnovers. Shout out
Pacers transition defense.
And OKC was out rebounded by 17. Like, you got I think it was 56 to 39 rebounding.
That's the game.
You didn't have friggin' Chet. You didn't have Hartenstein in the game in the last few minutes. Like, I think they wrote out like the last 8 minutes. What was it? Like the last 8-9 minutes of the game without a big. Like for what? Right. Like, when you come into the game and you change your lineup already. It's like psychological. Like, we have you guys.
We got you.
Like, Carson Wallace never started all year. Well, I don't know all year, but for the majority, they always started with the bigs, right? So why change this lineup like that when this is what got you 60-plus wins? Right. It doesn't make sense. Why would you adjust to Indiana? Let Indiana adjust to you. So that was the first mistake I think that they made. Pacers only led by 0.3 seconds of the entire game. 0.3 seconds. That's the only time that
just watching the game, they were just hovering at that 12 to 13.
Yeah, like, they couldn't take off.
Down. I was like, oh my gosh, OKC.
They couldn't get off. They couldn't. So it was. Indiana did a great job of staying close, and allowing the game to, like, be within reach. Right. And the fourth quarter came. I think they hit 6, or it was either 6 threes in the fourth quarter. I think it was 6 threes in the fourth quarter. I believe Turner hit 2. I think Toppin hit 2, and I think Neesmith and Andrew Nembhard hit 1. So, like, I think they hit 6 threes in the fourth quarter. Bro, this team, listen, man, I don't know what to say, man. Like this, and now it's gonna put way more pressure on OKC to win today.
All they had to do was steal one, and I was telling guys before I got hurt, I was like, all Pacers got to do is steal one. I think they're gonna steal one, and if they're gonna steal one, it had to be game one. Because of the break that OKC had. I think it was maybe like a 7-day break. Just getting back into it. They're in the finals now. Yep. All the pressure, not pressure, but all the spotlight's on everybody. You know what I mean? How are they going to react to it? Yep. I think Shea did his thing. I think maybe he took a bit too much.
He came out way too aggressive.
14 field goal attempts in the first quarter.
And the crazy thing is, this is a stat that nobody's... The two stats, the glaring stats for me in this game was... OKC only had 13 assists, and Pacers had 24 assists in the game.
Look at that.
So that just shows you. Chet only had 6 points.
Right, Chet
didn't play well
Chet didn't play well at all.
He had 6 points. Hartenstein had 8 or 9. He had 9 points and 8 rebounds. But his production was more than Carson Wallace. Right. And Carson Wallace, I think he played like 30-something minutes. Man. So it just didn't make any sense. This is psychological for the OKC Thunders because they have to come out and win. And the only good thing about OKC is that they lost the first game to Denver.
Right.
Almost similar.
Right.
Giving the game up.
Right.
You know, doing the whole foul stuff. I don't believe in the foul stuff. I think I'm the type of guy you need to earn it. And if you earn it, we go into overtime. You know, because what they did was they fouled Aaron Gordon in the half court, in the back court.
Right.
Your best player is not even on the floor. Joker.
Right.
He was on the bench and you fouled him in the back court. Send Aaron Gordon to the line. He makes both free throws.
Yeah.
They foul you, which is Chet. Chet goes to the line. He's up one, misses both free throws.
Right.
What does Aaron Gordon do? Come back, hits the game winner.
Game.
So they did this with the first game.
Right.
The good thing about OKC is they play very well on the road. So I know they're not on the road yet, but the second game when they played Denver, they won by like 30-something points.
Right.
So let's see what happens. But I don't know, man. People haven't been able to figure Indiana out. So yeah. So I don't know.
It's a beautiful thing. Like I was saying, in regards to just team ball, Pacers and Denver are kind of similar because they a lot of ball movement, player movement. Kind of sticks a little bit because Joker's running a lot of the offense or facilitating it. But on the Indiana side, brother, like they go 5 out. There's so much action going on. Like they have like 7 options. You know what I mean? For every action. So I'm like, yo, can OKC have enough discipline to really counter that?
They don't mind going small.
They don't mind going small.
Indiana loves going small.
But then what are you gonna do when Turner, you know what I mean, starts picking and popping?
But when you have Obi Toppin started off real shaky in the beginning of the game, and
them 5 trade balls were heavy.
Made a game for himself.
I said Nembhard was the player of the game. I think Nembhard and Toppin
was the
player of the game. Both of them were the player of the game.
But they don't mind going small. Pascal, we've seen Pascal play the 4 to 5 position,
right.
So he doesn't mind.
He'll
get crazy. And when you have guys like Nembhard who are so aggressive, and as far as tacking the basket,
right? Like
Nembhard, like when he went through Caruso that one time with the N1,
he just bullied his way through.
I don't know now. Like I was leaning towards OKC with this series. I'm still going with OKC, but damn, nobody's been able to figure these niggas out, man. I don't know.
I mean, your preseason prediction was OKC to win it all.
Yes.
And we said OKC Boston, and I said Boston was gonna win. So I'm gonna still stick to the East, winning the chip.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? I like Indiana. You know what I mean? I would love for Shea. Shea can bring the MVP trophy to the hood. It's all good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Shout out No Flukes and all y'all. You know what I mean? But man, that boy from Aurora, man, who played at Vaughn. Andrew Nembhard, man.
He's doing his thing, man. He's doing his thing.
And can I shout out Lou Dort? That block?
Yeah, that block was
Holy
crazy.
Stinking crap.
That block was crazy.
Yo.
He went vertical.
And
just came down and just spiked the hell out
of the ball. In real time, I was like, ref didn't call foul?
It looked like a foul, too.
It did.
Yeah.
And then I'm looking in slow-mo.
I was like,
he went straight up.
That was clean. Man. That was clean. That block was crazy.
Beautiful. That was probably the block of the year. Hands down. Block of the playoffs for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So, what is your prediction for tonight's? So you're gonna still go with Indiana?
I'm gonna go with Indiana.
What is your predictions for tonight's game?
I mean, now Indiana did what they had to do. They secured home court.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I have a feeling OKC's gonna come and OKC has to win this game. So I'm gonna say OKC's gonna win this game.
Okay. I want to ask you guys a question. If Pacers pull this series off, will this be the biggest upset in NBA history?
Yes.
Will this be a bigger upset than the 2011? Because look at this run. They're on a historical run. And I know, like, when you put some context into it, a lot of guys were hurt, this and that. But at the end of the day, they won. Bottom line, they won.
Mm-hmm.
That Dallas team went through Kobe. They also went through OKC.
Right.
We don't talk about that often because we always lead to the big dogs, right?
Right.
And I think they were up 2-0, I believe.
Right.
To the start.
Mm-hmm.
And they were the overwhelming favorites to win Dallas series versus Miami Heat. But if the Pacers beat OKC in this finals,
right.
Looking at the regular season, what were they, the 5th seed or 4th seed?
Pacers?
Yeah.
I think they were
4th seed
mm-hmm.
to a number 1 seed.
Right.
Would this be the biggest upset in NBA history if the Pacers pull this off against OKC?
Yes. And solely off of not having a legitimate superstar. Halliburton's on his way. and he's turning into a hell of a closer in the clutch.
Mm-hmm.
But as a superstar, I mean, Dallas had Dirk. He was a superstar.
He was a superstar,
right? So Indiana ain't got that.
I hear what you're saying.
Indiana don't got that right now
I hear what you're
at the
saying.
moment. So this would be, if they can pull it off,
the
biggest upset NBA history, hands down.
So I also, speaking of Tyrese Halliburton, I want to ask you guys a question. Is this the most clutch playoff performance ever in playoff history? What Tyrese Halliburton is doing? How much buzzer beaters does he have? He has, I know, against the Knicks.
Dealt with Milwaukee.
One in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
One against the Cavs.
One against the Cavs.
This is his fourth or his fifth?
His fifth. This is his fifth.
Every game.
So
every team he played.
He did 5 in a one playoff run.
Yeah. Yeah.
Buzzer beater.
Yup.
And he's doing it in variety. He's not doing it just jump. He did with the layup with Giannis, like you said. Yeah.
Yeah.
So is this the most clutch performance by any player in NBA playoff history?
If he closes the deal, yes. But even if he doesn't close the deal, what a hell of a run in regards to
5. The one that killed me was the Knicks, man.
The Knicks one was crazy.
That one, it bounced and it just so high and went in, and then he just.
I thought the Cleveland one was. Yeah, he had them cojones. That was dope,
and I
too.
watched every single one of them, and I threw some shit at the wall every time he hit one of those.
Well, at least you apologize, man.
Bro.
Shout out Halliburton, baby.
So talk to us in the comments, man. Let us know, is Tyrese Halliburton having the most clutch playoff performance in NBA history? Talk to us in the comments.
Is he having one of the best runs in playoff history?
It's up there, especially as a fourth seed, a 4th, 5th seed. I think they're the 4th seed. So to have the 4th seed, you knocked off the defending champs, or you knocked off Milwaukee. They were the underdogs in every series.
Right.
Every single series, they were the underdogs. Against the Bucks, they were the underdogs. Next series versus
They weren't really underdogs since Dame was out.
Well, I thought that. Well, I don't know. To me, I believe Milwaukee was gonna win. They had the best player in the series.
Yeah,
Giannis was the best series.
Giannis, but like without Dame there and at like 100%, and I think like they only had him for one game. He came back and injured himself again.
Yeah, he I think he played one game. Then the next game he injured himself.
Right.
I think.
I think that one was kind of starting to be a given that it was the Pacers because
Right.
They had the team.
They definitely had the team.
To Giannis and Kuzma.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Cavs, they were the underdogs.
Yeah.
That's the number 1 seed, for sure. And then once the series started going on, shit, it looked like the Pacers were like, they're gonna take this one over. And then the Knicks, I thought the Knicks was gonna handle them. And then now what they're doing now. So I don't know, man. I think this is probably one of the tougher runs I've seen in a while, especially for an underdog team that no one expected this from.
Right. I mean, I still go with Dallas. 2011.
Dallas 2011 was just insane.
I mean, what Dirk had to go through.
What Dirk had to go through was insane.
Yeah, but this is a hard control alt delete second, definitely. Especially if he closes the deal.
If he closes the deal, man, it's gonna be crazy. Anyways, so I want to get into something that I haven't seen anybody talk about lately, and I want to rank these championships in order. So I want to go from the toughest to the easiest championship. I want to talk about the last 7 championships, and I want to go from the toughest championship all the way to the weakest championship. In your thoughts, anyways. Do you want me to? Are you ready, or do you want me to go? I can.
Go.
So I'm gonna go hardest to the weakest. So to me, the hardest championship in the last 7 years was the Toronto Raptors 2019.
That was the hardest?
People are going to say I'm biased and whatever, because once they passed the second round, I believe they were the underdogs in every series.
Right.
Against the Bucks, everybody thought they were going to lose against the Bucks. Everybody thought they weren't going to beat the Sixers. Or was the Sixers was first, then Bucks?
No, it was first round was
Orlando.
Second round was
Philly, and then third was. So we lost the first game in against Orlando, but no one thought we were going to lose against Orlando, the Magic. Everybody knew it. So we beat the Magic. I think it was 4-1, I believe. And then we came back and we played Philly, and everybody. It took a friggin' It took a shot from Kawhi to go around, like the craziest shot probably in NBA history.
Right.
If we go into overtime, it's over. It is over. Jimmy Butler had them boys playing, and that was when Ben Simmons was actually a player.
Right.
Like Ben Simmons was actually playing.
He was scary.
He was scary.
That was
and yeah, Embiid.
Right.
Like, come on, like that was nobody expected us to beat that. It took that kind of luck and that kind of shot for us to go past. And then we play the Bucks, and then the Bucks, we lose the first 2 games, and everybody's like, ha ha ha, bye, you guys had your run, it's over.
Right.
And we go on to win 4 straight against Giannis.
Mm-hmm.
4 straight.
4 straight.
And now we come into Golden State, and everybody says again, you guys are not going to beat the Golden State Warriors. And I'm like, guys, like, I didn't think the Golden State Warriors with just Curry and Clay was the toughest thing I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, they're good, but
right.
they can't compare when KD Warriors was there.
Facts.
That's a whole nother level.
Facts.
So I was like, we're beating these boys. We're deeper. We're tougher.
Right.
We have a more complete team, and we went out in 4-2. So
Did KD come back in like game 3 or something? Game 2? Game 3?
he came back in.
I think he missed game 1.
Yeah, he came back game 3. Yes, came back game 3. No. Yeah. They were at home. No, we were at home when KD came back. So did we start?
We were at home when KD got injured.
Yes. So were the first 2? Well, how did the first 2 games go? I can't remember how the first 2 games went. Like were they in Golden State?
Yeah.
Because weren't we up 2-0, or was it 2-1, or was it 1-1?
I think it was. Ooh, that's a good question. I think it was 1-1.
I think Golden State had the better record than us.
Yeah,
they had home court
advantage.
They had home court.
Yes. All I know is that he got hurt game 3, and he injured. That's when he injured his Achilles.
And that's the game Warriors won.
They won that game.
Yeah.
They won that game.
So he probably did play either game 2 and 3, or he played the first 2 games.
Who's that?
KD.
I think he made his return game 3.
Yeah, he only played the 1 game and got hurt. So I'm going. So in order, I'm ranking these championships from hardest to weakest.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going with 2019 Toronto Raptors. I'm going with 2020, 21, 22 Golden State Warriors. They defeated the Boston Celtics. I think what Curry did was phenomenal with that. They won 4-2. The good night shit, what he was doing, like, he carried that team on his back. I think that was tough. I'm going with Denver Nuggets. I think the run that Jamal Murray had. So this is 2022, 23. This is 3 for me. Denver Nuggets, they defeated Miami. I think what Jamal Murray did, I think that was, coming out party. I think Joker established himself like, I'm here.
Right.
They beat them 4-1. I'm going with 2021 Milwaukee Bucks. They defeated the Phoenix Suns.
Mm-hmm.
The Bucks came out, Phoenix came out, won the first 2 games, and they couldn't win a game after that.
Right.
Like, Bucks took over. Giannis took over.
Right.
Number 5 for me, that was number 4. Number 5 to me is 2023-24 Boston Celtics defeating Dallas. They beat them 4-1. I think that was the coming out party. Jaylen Brown did win MVP.
Yeah.
I think he established himself as one of the top tier players and wings in the league. I'm for number 6, I'm going with Golden State Warriors. They defeated Cleveland Cavaliers 4-0. You know the rest. And 2019, this is number 7. 2019, 2020, I'm going with Los Angeles Lakers. They defeated Miami Heat in the bubble 4-2. I think that was the weakest championship known to man. I don't even know why they count that shit. Just get rid of the whole thing all total together. So that's my in my order. That's my top 7 championships.
All right.
Ranking in the last 7 years.
All right, and for myself, very similar to yours, but number 1 for me would be Warriors.
Which year?
When they beat when Curry got his 5th.
Okay, no, his 4th.
Sorry,
so that's 20. That's 2021.
Yeah.
2021, 22 Golden State Warriors. They defeated the Boston Celtics.
I mean, a lot of people will say, I think that journey in the playoffs, a lot of lead guards got hurt.
It was tough.
Right?
I don't care how you say it. It was tough.
A lot of lead guards got hurt, but just the stigma of, Curry can't lead a team to a championship.
Right.
Curry's not a Finals MVP.
Because that was his first Finals MVP.
Right. You know what I mean? So he got his first Finals. That one was just hard in general, I think. Then I'm going to go with the Raptors, obviously.
2019, yep.
I'm going to go Denver Nuggets.
2022, 23, yep.
Yep. I'm going to go with Milwaukee Bucks.
Okay, 2020, 21.
Yep. I'm going to go with Boston.
Okay. 2023, 24.
I'm going to go with Lakers, then Warriors.
So, so 2017, 2018 Warriors defeating the Cavaliers in 4.
I mean, it was a sweep, and I mean, their run was super stacked. Like, it had KD.
That was Bron on that team.
I mean, and Bron, if Bron would have got game 1,
right?
You know what I mean? If
JR
didn't misstep on or have that miscommunication piece, who knows? Because Bron was going crazy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. That
George Hill should have hit that free throw.
Oh, George Hill should have hit that free throw.
Realistically, it was if he hit that free throw, JR wouldn't have ran the other way.
Right, game's done.
Exactly.
Game
So
done.
So a lot. That's my thing. A lot of people want to blame JR, but I blame George Hill. He missed a free throw, and he's not like he's a terrible free throw shooter. Right. He's actually a good one. He just choked.
That was like his last good year too.
Yeah, right. I never heard of that dude ever since then.
Right.
For real. I want to rank eras. So. There's been conversations going on that, you know, which era is the toughest, which era is the weakest, and so on and so on, right? You know, guys in the 80s were plumbers, and, you know, there's total disrespect, you know, with the eras and you know, the earlier days or whatever. So I want to rank the eras, and I want to tell me which one is the hardest to the weakest, in eras. So I'm giving you the eras, and the eras are the 90s, 2000s, 2010s, 2020s.
Right.
So talk to us in the comments. Which era do you think is the weakest era, going from the 90s, the 2000s, 2010s, and 2020s, which is now? So in the eras of the 20, I'll give you the players. In the 90s, you had obviously the Karl Malones, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippins, and those guys. Yeah. The 2000s, you had the Kobes, you had the Shaqs, Kevin Garnett's, Iversons, the Duncans. 2010s, you got the KDs, Bron, Curry, you know, AD, and James Harden. And now 2020, you got Luka's, Embiid's, SGA, Giannis, Joker. So which era would you rank hardest to weakest?
I'm gonna go from the hardest. I gotta stick with the 90s.
Right.
Just off of the strength of the actual strength. It was a lot more physical. You know what I mean? It was the physicality was to me, if you played with that physicality now, you're kind of seeing it in the playoffs. It took a while for these guys to get adjusted to it. If you're looking at today's playoffs now, it's almost like they're bringing back the 90s physicality to a certain degree.
I don't mind it.
And I don't mind it at all. You know what I mean? But I would go, that would be the hardest. And then the 2000s.
2000s?
Yeah. And then the 2010s.
So it's kind of lining up.
It's kind of lining up, man. And the 2020s is the weakest. The 2020s, I feel, and the 2010s will probably be a little bit more skilled. Yeah. The skill set. That's when they have the balance of, you know, skill and finesse versus strength and skill. You know what I mean? There's a huge balance there. But this era, the 2010s, the 2020s, and going forward, their skill set's going to be, bar none, better than how it was in the 90s. Right. But just that physicality, you know what I mean? Testing your heart. I mean, bruh.
I agree.
I got to go with the 90s.
I agree. I think the 90s is the toughest era. And when I mean the toughest, I don't mean the actual physical strength. I think that was the best era of basketball. I would probably say, I think the 80s, I wasn't there to watch the 80s, but the Magic and Bird era, it kind of saved basketball. Right. You know, it made it a global. Jordan made the game global. But
let's not forget about Isaiah Thomas.
Isaiah Thomas was in the 80s as well. But why I say the 90s was the best era of basketball, because guys play basketball. Right. They played 82. There was a stretch where Jordan played like 3 years straight and didn't miss not one game. Like, he just played every single game. But
the money was on the line, though. Like,
but still, it's like guys just love to play basketball. How much players do you know love to play the game of basketball right now? There's not too many. They love what it does, what it can do for them. Right. But they don't actually love to play the game of basketball, and that's what we're missing.
I think the love is there, but they've been exposed this era has been exposed to basketball at an earlier age and competitive ball at an earlier age, from rep ball to AAU. Imagine doing rep ball AAU from grade 4 all the way up to grade 12.
Yeah, that's a lot of basketball.
And then you get your scholarship.
That's too much.
And then
basketball.
You got Division 1 ball, you know what I mean? And then if you're good enough, you make it to the league.
That's a lot of
And
basketball.
some of these guys just play pro regardless, so they're traveling all over the world.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of mileage on their bodies.
There is, man.
You know what I mean?
There is.
It's popping.
I think the one thing that's wrong with like today's basketball and why people don't enjoy playing it is because, like, imagine you're like an Anthony Edwards, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're playing the best game of your life. You open your phone the next day, and like all of a sudden people are just like, "Oh, Anthony Edwards is so shit," or like they're saying all these things about you.
It's the social media stuff.
Right.
And like it attacks you. And I think like the media now is like way worse than it was, because like back then it was like newspapers, right?
Yeah, there's just much more.
Exactly. So you can ignore the newspapers because you just don't have to read through it. But even when you just open your phone, especially as an NBA player, you just open anything, you just see black.
I think that has to do with it, but I think that's a very good point. But okay, let me get back. I'm gonna touch on that real quick. But I'm gonna go with the '90s just because guys played basketball. I didn't have to wait to the playoffs for guys to actually try.
Right.
And that's my problem. Like, guys, like, we can't even get an all-star game together. Like, we can't even get an all-star game together where people are going to try and play basketball. Like, guy just, I don't want to do it, whatever. So I'm going with the 90s. I'm going with 2000s as well. I think 2000s and 90s is really close. I love that era, 2000s, Kobe, coming out party, T-Mac, you know, was one of my favorite players at the time. Tim Duncan. Vince, AI. And it has a lot of guys in the top 10 of all time, like Shaq, Kobe, Tim Duncan. You know, those guys are all in that 2000s. And then I'm gonna go 2010s as well. The Bron, you know, I used to be a big Bron guy when he was in Cleveland, you know, believe it or not. You know, it was just when he left. That was my only issue, when he left and went to Miami when he ran. You know, I just didn't like that, and that just changed my whole, you know, outlook of you know, what kind of guy he was mentally. And then I'm gonna go 2000s. Like, bro, it's hard to watch a game on a Tuesday or a Thursday. Like, Thursday don't mean the same to me. TNT Thursday don't mean the same to me.
Right.
Like, I used to rush home to go watch basketball in the 2000s on TNT on a Thursday or whenever. Like, those big games just don't mean, it don't hit the same no more. The way the game is officiated now, the way the game is being played now, and everybody will say, "Oh, so skilled." Man, skill don't mean that you're better. You know, skill don't mean that you're a better player. There's or you know, because you know, we can say a lot of skilled players. Joker's more skilled than Shaq, but I think Shaq's a better player.
Right.
So, like, Hakeem is more skilled than Shaq, but Shaq is higher, you know? So, everybody says Kobe's way more skilled than LeBron, but everybody says LeBron is better. Well, not everybody, but a lot of these, you know, the millennials, they say that LeBron James is better. So, when we always make this argument about more skilled, this is the more skilled era, you know? And why I say if Jordan played in this era, he'd average 50, because you can't touch. The way the game is officiated, you can't touch him. You know what I mean? And he's going to live on the line. So that's my order. I do the same thing. The 90s is number one for me, 2000s, 2010s, and 2020s. That's how I rank the eras. Talk to us in the comments. Let us know. Rank these eras. Rank these eras for us. But I wanna touch base when you were talking about the media. I think it's see, the problem is the internet is just so powerful now. The internet is so powerful. Like, we can post something. I posted something on Friday. It's at 30,000 views, and all of America's on it. Like, not even locally, America is on it. We have guys in Texas and New York and wherever killing us, or, you know, whatever, having conversations with us. So how powerful the internet is now is insane. Right, so I could understand that point of view, but I still think Ant Edwards should embrace this. Like, if you're gonna want to be the top guy, you got to embrace this. LeBron James took it as being the lead guy in the league. Like, people killed LeBron. You know, he's being haunted. They will haunt him forever. We will haunt him forever for 2011. We're gonna haunt him forever. Right, so you got to deal with it. Even Jordan was taking it. I know it wasn't as big, but when they were killing him in the New York Times.
I think the New York Times back in the day, the newspaper was
that was a big paper.
It was huge.
Yeah.
And then it gets to CNN, It gets to cable TV, all the different networks, all the different news channels, obviously the newspapers. So I felt like the media platform, even in the 90s, was just as crazy.
Yeah.
You feel me? We just had cable. And you would see it on 6 o'clock news. You would see it on all day, every day on CNN. You know what I mean? So to me, it's kind of the same thing, but I would say to your credit, the internet, it just gets out quicker to a larger.
Yeah, because I think back then it was more of like it's a delay. It's like, oh, you have to wait until 6.
You have to wait till 6. You're right.
You have to wait till a certain time, or like, oh, it gets in the newspaper. From there, then it gets to the news. And maybe it's like a next day problem now.
Right.
Whereas like, oh, you can just wake up and Stephen A's on your TV bright and early in the morning, at like 12 a.m.
hitting you with all that.
Or 8 a.m. whatever it is.
Makes sense. No, I got you.
But it definitely spreads more as the internet. Come on, nothing like the internet. Let's be honest. Like, we can't even compete. Anyways, last I want to talk about. Okay, so we finally got World versus US. World versus America. It's official. It's gonna happen. What is your thoughts? All-Star Weekend. We've been, I'll give you your credit. You've been wanting this for a while. I jumped on your bandwagon with this, but we finally have it. All-Star Weekend is happening next year. World versus America All-Star Game. What is your thoughts?
It's time to compete. This is perfect. I feel top heavy. Yes, the world would probably have a top heavy line.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm sorry. I think the U.S. would have a top heavy line. But when it comes to the reserves, I just hope they don't botch the reserves on both sides. But this could be a pre-Olympic game. You know what I mean? But it's really USA versus the world with this one. This is on so many levels and so many layers. This is gonna work. We needed this. We needed this, man.
I think it's gonna work too.
I feel like it's about time. It's about time, man. I'm just happy. I'm lost for words. A little sedated, I guess. Don't watch that. But yo, when I seen that Adam Silver said, "Yo, we're gonna do it," bruh. There's no hiding, and now we have a new crop of USA superstars coming up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I still see them promoting LeBron, cool, and KD's and Steph's, cool.
But you got the Halliburtons.
But you got the next crop of young boys coming.
Tatums,
you know.
You got the Jaylen Browns. This is gonna be interesting. So I got a lineup for you, and I want you to tell me what you think about this lineup. I'll start with the USA first.
Mm-hmm.
You got Steph Curry, Anthony Edwards, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Anthony Davis at the center.
Mm-hmm.
The world is SGA, Luka, Giannis at the 3, Victor Wembanyama at the 4, and Joker at the 5. What is your thoughts on that?
What do you
think? Who wins
what
this
do you
matchup?
think?
Who wins this matchup? Who wins this matchup? He's thinking about it.
The simple fact that you got to think about it.
I mean, like, I don't know. Curry could just have a random 3-point shootout again.
Yo, the last 5 MVPs belong to the world. The last 5. Yo, you got Joker with 3. Doesn't he have 3? I mean, Joker has 3. Giannis got 1.
He has 2 or 3, yeah.
And then SGA got 1.
Right.
The last 5 belong to the world.
And these guys are touching or in their prime.
They're in their prime.
What are we talking about?
I don't know if any of these guys are even 30 yet. SGA's 26. I think Giannis might be the oldest. He's the closest, right? Okay, so let's talk about the reserves that we would have on the world team.
Let's talk about the reserves.
So you got Pascal.
Oh my gosh.
We can go with Nembhard if you want.
Yeah.
You can go with Sabonis.
Yes.
You can go with Şengün for Houston.
Oh my goodness.
Right? You want to go with Dylan Brooks?
I told you, you gotta put in Dylan.
You want to go
with
Jamal
put in the
Murray?
villain in there.
Where are you guys putting Embiid in this?
We can go Embiid.
We can go Embiid as well.
Embiid can go either side.
He can't go on US, man.
Can't go on the US.
You
no
got
more.
like you, this is just
the way
this
they
is where you were born.
Right.
It's not where you got your citizenship. Where you were born, right? Because then we can say, "Hey, Kyrie, come over here." He was actually born in Australia. People don't know that. I don't think what's his name was Karl Anthony Towns was born in Dominican. I think he was born in the U.S.
I think so too.
I think his parents are Dominican or something like that. But yeah, the reserves is gonna be even it's crazier.
Right.
Like you said, the drop off is gonna be crazy because now the USA, who you got? Jaylen Brown, Tatum's not gonna be there. You know, get well. Dame won't be there. He's hurt. Brunson, yes, right. Brunson. If we want Gilbert, we're not gonna take Gilbert. They can have Gilbert if they want. Right. They could even have Embiid if they really want. Don't matter. Like to have Şengün.
Halliburton will be on.
Halliburton is reserve.
I don't think they have a single big.
They don't have a big, huh? That's why Anthony Davis is center right now.
Davis and then like there's Cat technically.
If they want Cat, they can get Cat if they want.
Right.
Like that's like the only bigs because Bam is.
Right.
Like, I'm pretty sure it's from. I don't think he was born in the States.
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know if Bam was born.
Because I think that was the problem when Team USA went to the Olympics. That's why they got Embiid.
Yeah.
Because they needed another big.
Right, but Bam played on USA.
I think so.
Yeah, he played on USA. This is gonna be very interesting, man. We're glad that it's happened. It's finally happened. But who do you think is gonna win, man? Talk to us in the comments, man. World versus the USA. This is gonna be very, very interesting. I love to see it. Finally happened. Moving on, let's talk about so LeBron James was in the news again. Man, every time we talk about LeBron, they always tell us, "Oh, you guys talk about LeBron all the time." First, we talk about Drake all the time. We talk about LeBron. Can we talk about anybody?
Right.
One dude called us a bati man because we're talking. Bro, we have a podcast, you goof. Like, what do you want us to do? Like, this guy, people are just weird. They didn't say anything. Anyways, let's talk about LeBron James' comments. So he's on his podcast. What's it called? Mind the Game.
Yeah.
So now you have Steve Nash as
which is super dope. I love the perspective.
I don't, but
here we go.
I just don't.
He said the same thing when it was him and JJ.
I just don't care to hear this type of conversation with these guys. Bron, give me some stories. I want to hear stories from you. I don't want to hear stories from these lower class NBA guys. I want to hear stories from you. You get what I'm saying? I don't want to hear stories from. Anyways, let me hold my. But so he was talking about after the playoffs is done. I mean, regular season is done. He wanted to have a month off to prepare himself for the playoffs. What is your thoughts on this comment?
I'm like, come on, LeBron, you can't say stuff like that. Like you strategically, and I think I think all NBA teams in their organizations strategically set up rest periods for you guys. You guys, I heard like from other podcasters that are NBA guys, that you guys don't even practice the way that you're supposed to practice.
Only Miami Heat,
well, maybe Miami,
they're the
right?
Going
so
crazy.
I mean, like, why would you say something out like say something like that out loud when you know there's gonna be so much critique coming because of saying that? Because you guys get time off, you guys take private jets everywhere. Your practices are not the same. It's not vigorous. You know what I mean? Like, you're resting. I think you're actually. Injuries are up because of this shit. I think personally, like, you know what I mean? Your body's not that strong.
Right.
So like, you want to rest more. I get what you're saying in regards to it's a vigorous 82 game season. Even though you guys don't play 82 games.
Right.
A month before the playoffs, everybody gets a chance to rest and kind of recharge and heal. I get that part. Nah, bro, I'm coming from the 90s, watching the 90s and really understanding 90s ball. It don't work like that, fams.
No.
It don't work like that, man. It's a grind. You got your 82-game season. You play 70 of those games, and you get ready for playoffs.
So talk about off-season breaks and injuries, right? How do you feel about yesterday's news? Zach Edey got injured in like a workout.
Damn.
Zach Edey hurt his left ankle, and I think he's about to miss
the beginning of the season, yeah.
I mean, fam, that's sports, bro. Like, it was bound to happen. Yeah. It would have happened. It would have happened if he was working out with Team Canada. You know what I mean? Or if he's working out at Memphis. It was bound to happen, bro.
I don't know how serious. The injury must be pretty serious if he's gonna miss the beginning of the year, but.
Well, no, because he went to get surgery on his left ankle.
Yeah, maybe he's too heavy. I don't know, but we'll see. But I think this is probably. Sometimes I'm not understanding LeBron's thought process, and what would make him think that this would be okay to say. Like why would you think this is okay to say?
Right,
bro. Let me give you a stat. Michael Jordan, from 96 to 98. 3 championships, 3 finals MVP, 3 scoring titles, 2 MVPs, 2 All-Star MVPs, 34 40-point games, 3 50-point games, played 304 out of 304 games.
Mm-hmm. What are we talking about, man? You know what I mean?
304 games out of 304 games. What are we talking about, bro? What are we talking about, nigga? Like, what are we talking about? Like, you're literally going to come on camera and use your platform like that? That's so disrespectful. And your fanboys are going to jump behind it and be like, yeah, man, he needs time off because he's 40. Nigga, you're 40, retire, nigga. Yeah. Retire, yo. Why you want to switch everything so it could help you?
Right?
The last time you did this weak-ass shit, you won a bubble chip, nigga.
Well, I would say you won a couple trips with Miami.
Not like this.
That was a weak. To me, that was still a weak ass.
That move was weak running to Miami, but I'm saying this particular time where he had like 6 months off.
Right. No, real talk.
For the bubble. Nigga, what are you talking about?
Right.
So you want more bubble activity so you can win a championship. That's what you're telling us. This is so weak, man. And his fanboys gonna jump on, oh my God, no, man. Give the king what he wants. Just hop off, man. Mm-hmm. This is crazy. Mm-hmm. Like, how could you guys not see that this is so weak? I don't care if you're 40. The league is not going to cater to you because you're the 40-year-old player in the league and you're 22. Nigga, retire then.
Facts. Like,
why are you saying that?
Because what he's doing at 40 is crazy.
It is.
It's remarkable.
So just shut up and play the game,
just keep playing, man. Real talk, bro.
Shut up and play the game. We're not gonna bend the rules and change things because you want an advantage.
Right.
No. We've been doing this for 50 years. The NBA's been around for 50 plus years, nigga. It's never had breaks. The only break they had was the lock-in seasons, nigga.
Right.
And those championships are weak. And the bubble. Weak. Every single time niggas was playing it out.
Right.
82 games and going in a vigorous, tough playoff matchup. That's what they was doing for years. So why, after 50 plus years, you want to try to change this shit around? That's what you would want. Man, shut up, man. Like, this weak to me, bro. Mm-hmm. Anyways, he also said that he hears the talk about not having a bag. Like, yo, why I just don't get this, man. People are saying, I don't have no bag. I scored 50,000 something far about points. Oh man, what is your thoughts, man? What is your thoughts?
LeBron, it's okay. It's okay not to have a bag. Like, your game was predicated around, one, bringing the rock up, getting guys involved. You know what I mean? In transition, you were Shaq. You were a mobile version of Shaq in transition, running the lanes, like, you know what I mean? And finishing around the basket. As you got older, your turnaround started to formulate, you know what I mean? And your little sidestep, your little post up, face up, sidestep 3, you know what I mean? But nah, nobody was taking. I seen a lot more memes than, people taking your bag serious. Control out, delete. You didn't have a KD bag. You didn't have a Kyrie bag. You didn't have a Luka bag.
What's his signature move? What's LeBron's signature move?
I would say it would.
Looking at the ball and then shooting it. That's the signature move. Looking at
the ball, shooting it.
That's the weakest move I've ever seen in my life.
Or the face up, sidesteps 3. You know what I mean?
Like, what is his signature move? Like, all the greats had a signature move, right?
He worked
From
on
Kareem
the fadeaway.
to MJ, Kobe, like this fadeaway is a lot better than it was.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, bro, like, you don't have a bag and it's okay.
It's okay, man.
It's probably more impressive that you scored all these points without one.
Right.
So, like, why you doing that?
That discredited your athleticism. You were running through guys, bro.
What that was.
So be it. You're Shaq. You were a mobile version of Shaq. To tell you the truth,
like,
bro.
you shot 50-something% by getting a lot of layups and dunks. That's how you shot a high percentage, right? Later on in your career, your jump shot started getting better, but you didn't have a bag where you can cross over a guy like, you don't have that. Right. You don't have a Kyrie Irving bag where, nigga, you put him in the chamber, he gonna figure his way to get out because he has so much different counters. You don't have a bag like Kobe Bryant where his footwork, where he can up fake you, spin the other way, shoot the jump shot, or have the fadeaway, or have the pump fake, dribble left, crossover. Like, when Kobe was coming in the league, he was using that Iverson crossover like crazy. Coming out of the league, cross you over and take off and dunk on you.
What he did to Ben Wallace?
Bro, like once in a blue moon, LeBron will come out with some stuff where it's like, but you don't actually have a bag
I think LeBron's bag was his ball IQ.
His IQ, and he would muscle. He was able to muscle guys.
I mean, he had just once again hearing DeMar talk about LeBron, like he had like guys like DeMar shook because he could just read. Like he could just read he could just read the game. Like, you know what I mean? And
you still haven't. He's still having nightmares of this guy.
Nightmares, man.
Like, you'll never make the playoffs again in your life, dog, and you still having nightmares of this dude. He's such a hoe, man. I'm so glad we cannot retire this bum's jersey.
I think
we are. Still having. Well, I think we are. This nigga having nightmares still about LeBron, where he's talking about it on other podcasts. Like, shut up, man.
Jeff Teague still has nightmares about LeBron.
Jeff Teague still does too.
Like, these niggas, bro. He's a good storyteller. I love his storytelling. It's amazing. But if anything, if it's any consolation, I'll be your basketball mind was your bag. Yeah, that's okay. I think it's more impressive that you scored all these points without actually having a bag.
Yeah.
We can name the players who do have a bag. Jordan had a bag, and Jordan's bag wasn't the craziest. He just had a signature move, the fadeaway. You couldn't stop it. Kobe's bag had a bag. He had so much counters. Kyrie has a bag. KD has a bag. A bag is like, if I put you in a situation, can you get that one-on-one basket without bulldozing guys?
Steph has a bag.
Like, guys have bags. It's okay you don't have a bag.
Isaiah Thomas, bag. Like,
anyways, talk to us in the comments. Let us know what you think about LeBron James' bag. Talk to us. Does he have a bag or does he have a bag? Does he have a Goyard bag or does he have a freaking champion bag? Let us know. Let us know. Anyways, moving on to hip-hop. We got to talk about hip-hop. Pusha T. Pusha T is in the news. So he had an interview with Rolling Stones. Everybody's going to Rolling Stone for interviews. I don't understand. Like, what's happening? Like, what happened to Vibe and all these other magazines, right?
They're the new Vibe right now.
Anyways, so he has a song. Apparently, this song was out a while ago, and it had nothing to do with Drake. So I'm not sure why the label wanted to censor it. But the song is called Chains and Whips, featuring Kendrick Lamar. So Def Jam asked him to change. They said, listen, I think they said change the lyrics, Kendrick Lamar. And they said no. Okay, can we take Kendrick Lamar off the song completely? I think they said no. So they said, okay, we're gonna just drop you guys. So apparently Def Jam is label mates or family mates with UMG. There's some type of correlation between those two labels, and I guess they didn't want to take the chance. So they dropped the Clipse as a group, and then they dropped Pusha T. I guess he had another deal by himself, a single deal by himself, a solo deal by himself, and they dropped both of them, and then I guess they had to pay seven figures to actually get out of it completely, and then they picked up a distribution deal from Tidal,
right,
or Rock Nation, sorry, and I guess they're just gonna distribute the album. Right. But what is your thoughts on this? Because I well, like, and then he also said in the interview that he doesn't respect Drake anymore. But let's talk about this. You know, the whole stuff about him being dropped, and we'll talk about the Drake stuff after.
I mean, what else do you want me to say? Like, this is labels getting involved because they have to deal with this lawsuit. You know what I mean? So just to cover their tracks, Pusha, you know the deal. Like, you know, you're not bigger than the label. So, unfortunately, if you don't want to follow suit with what they're telling you to do, you're gonna get breezed, and that's what happened, bro. You got cut.
Okay, so
you get cut, man. That's it. That's all, man. Sorry. You can blame Drake, but nah, man. Like, people forget that not like us, like the foundation of Kendrick and Drake beef, it's on a lie, bro. Like, said the man had a daughter, said the man was a pedophile, bruh. 2 major lies, and whatever record company, whoever was behind blowing the track up, bruh, I'm not hearing that track right now. Like, I'm not hearing it like that. I know maybe an industry party like Kai Cenat was saying, but we're not hearing it on road, like, so.
Well, the whole Kendrick wave in the moment is slowly fading away.
Right.
I've seen that as far as it's so weird that Drake has been weekly Spotify numbers, he's been leading the charge again, and the numbers are down for Kendrick. I need someone to explain to me how Kendrick lost like 40 million subscribers on Spotify. If anybody out there can help me to understand that, like how did he just lose like 40 million subs on Spotify? I don't know how that happened. But anyways, what happened?
And then Pusha, you out here saying like, yo, all right, you guys gonna drop the Eclipse? Remember, I'm still a solo artist. Like, you know what I mean? And then you get cut. Like, why are you messing? Why are you messing your bag up for, B? Because of pride, man. Especially and ego, bro. Like,
especially if the verse has nothing to do with Drake. Why would they drop you if the verse had nothing to do with Drake?
It's just off of the strength of Kendrick and Pusha. They're well-known Drake enemies. Just off of those names alone being on a track, like. The labels weren't. They couldn't take that risk.
Okay, so
couldn't take the risk, man.
This is my thing, right? So they want to censor Pusha and the Clipse. They haven't dropped an album in 15 years. They haven't dropped the album. I guess his brother Malice was, he was in the like church and things like that. Mm-hmm. I think he got saved. So I think he might have even did some gospel rap at some point. But they weren't a unit together. This is the first time they've done an album together in 15 years. Obviously, Pusha did some stuff on his own within that time, but a Clipse album. You got dropped not because the song was a Kendrick diss to Drake or you're dissing Drake. You got dropped because you ain't got no value. Pusha and Clipse don't hold no value. You're not gonna do an arena tour or a stadium tour and sell it out every night. You have concerts at History with 2,000 people. Right. It's just levels. If you were a stadium type of artist and you were able to sell out arenas and you were going to do 500 first week, they don't cut you. You hold value. So that's the whole thing. Let's stop acting like, oh my God, they didn't censor Kendrick when he was doing this shit. So why would they, bro, especially if you're saying that the song ain't got nothing to do with Drake and the song was done years ago. Right. Why would they censor you then? Why would they cut you, dog, because you ain't got no value? Let's just keep it 100. Now all of a sudden everybody's a Clipse fan. Nigga, you guys weren't listening to Clipse. It's all the Kendrick fans are Clipse fans now. Like, what's happening? Yes. Like, all of a sudden, let's ride out. Let's get this album. Nigga, the album gonna sell 1,000 in the first week, nigga. Like, come on, bro. Like, stop. Like, you got released from Def Jam because you don't have value. It's just as simple as that. If you were able to sell out arenas, we wouldn't have this problem because you would have leverage to speak, nigga. You ain't got no leverage. What are you gonna say? Well, I'm gonna go to Rock Nation, nigga, and I'm gonna go bring my 20,000 first week sales over there. You think they care? And then you have to give them money. Right. You have to spend 7 figures to get out of it. Everybody's in an uproar, like, oh my God, Drake and this. Man, stop using the man's name for clout, bro. Because we never spoke about the Clipse this much ever. Ever, until he mentioned Drake. So let's stop acting like this is not a part of the rollout for his album. Because the Clipse never had this much motion or they weren't being talked about. We wouldn't talk about you niggas if you ain't bring up this shit. So let's just keep it 100. Let's be honest. Was you checking for the Clipse album? Nigga, the only...
I stopped listening to Pusha T after like 2017 or something.
Me too. Damn. Nigga, we the only time we only even thought about this because you mentioned Kendrick. And you said you got a Kendrick record. And then everybody's antennas like, oh shit, he might be coming for blood. Both of them on the same record. Right. That's the only reason why.
That song got leaked too. That song was alright. It wasn't a good song.
That's what I'm saying. Pharrell leaked it by at the LV thing. Yeah. So I just don't get it, man. Why are we doing this and acting like this is not a part of the rollout? All these fake ass Clipse fans on TikTok and shit. Oh my God, I can't wait for him. He's such a lyrical assassin. Oh my God. Okay, cool. The nigga been talking about pushing coke for 30 years, nigga. What are you talking about? We already dried out Rick Ross and all these other niggas for talking about that shit, nigga. Are you gonna stop talking about coke, nigga? Right. Like, niggas talking about coke for 40 years, nigga. You still pushing coke?
Well, he does say he doesn't. He pushes. He says. I seen him on an interview the other day that's just the ground level. You know, he raps way more than just coke.
Nigga, he tries to have these freaking entendres and talking about coke in the roof and all kind of shit, nigga. Shut up. Anyways, he also spoke about not having respect for Drake in as far as the lawsuit and all that stuff goes. What's your thoughts on that?
All I gotta say is when Drake brought up your wife or your wife to be at the time,
right?
You went ape shit. You know what I mean? To defend her honor.
Yep.
You know, when Kendrick's saying that man has a daughter and you know the PDF, you don't expect the man to go ape shit. You know what I mean? He's understanding the game, behind the scenes. So he just tapped in behind the scenes to really counter what was happening, and this is what's going on right now. So why would you say it like that? You know, I'm just like, Pusha, you don't like the man, just say you don't like the man. And the messed up part was back in the day, like, and it's documented that, you know, Drake was a huge Pusha T fan.
He was, yeah.
So it's just like, come on, bro.
Every time since the Pusha and Drake beef, the only way Pusha rolls out an album is by using names.
Yep.
The last album I remember Pusha had, it was the whole hype around it was that at that time Kanye and Kid Cudi were like, you know, longtime friends, right? And best of friends. They had like split up. They had like a huge argument online, right? And they're saying things about each other. And Pusha's whole thing was, I have a final song of Kanye and Cudi together on a song.
Okay.
And that was his last.
Yeah, he uses names for his rollout, and that's what he's doing now. Him saying that he has no respect for Drake, who cares? Who cares? Drake don't have respect for you. Let's move on.
Right.
Like, who cares? Like, you're gonna come out, you're gonna sell 20,000 first week, maybe. You might got a little Kendrick stimulus from all his fans who are now Clipse fans, and we're gonna move on from this. And yeah, we'll never talk about you again until you want to do another rollout.
Right.
So that's what it is. First thoughts on Wayne. Lil Wayne dropped his album, The Carter. Was it Carter 6? What is your thoughts on first impressions?
Thoughts, like, you know, the bars, to me, the bars are up there. You know, he's rapping his ass off. Shout out Lil Wayne. I think production-wise, could have been better.
Right.
I think you got to get with the times. I feel like nowadays, artists that used to dominate in the early, mid-2000s, not so late 2000s, but early and mid-2000s, those artists that are still in the game, still relevant in the game, if they think that just off a namesake and bars and, you know, production is not the greatest, but your bars will carry, and, bruh, that shit ain't, I don't think that happens. That's not working anymore. That formula doesn't work anymore.
Gotcha.
I think you really got to come with, the production got to be on point.
Production got to be,
you know what I mean?
Top tier now, yeah.
Obviously the bars, the rollout got to be on point. The features got to be on point.
He's going on a tour, right? He has his tour coming up.
You got to, I know everybody's talking about, you know, where was Nicki? Where was Drake? Who knows? Maybe this was obligation to contract obligations. Just get the Carter 6 out. Just get it out. You know what I mean? I don't know. But I really hope there's no beef in between the camp.
I hope not either.
You know, but yeah, I thought it was, just seeing from what I'm hearing, I like the album, but I can see where people and Lil Wayne fans could be super upset.
The Carter, I probably want to say the first Carter, and I want to say Carter 3. Which Carter was Money on My Mind on? Which one was that on? Can't remember. But let me know. But it's first initial thought. I gotta listen to it. I waited. It probably didn't come out till almost 1 in the morning. I actually waited up all night to like hear it. Carter 2. Okay, so Carter 2 was one of my favorites. Is my favorite. Money on My Mind is one of my favorite Wayne songs. Period. But my initial thoughts of this album, to me, man, at this point in your career,
you sound hurt when I asked you.
I am. To me, I'm gonna listen to it more, and we're gonna get into it more. We'll try to get into it more next episode. Because sometimes when I listen to albums, my second and third listen, I start to favor it more.
Right.
So I'm not gonna kill him right now, just off my initial thoughts. I listened to it Friday. I was falling asleep in and out of it. Like you said, the production is just not. It's not. Usually Wayne comes with the craziest beats, man. Can we all agree with that?
Yeah.
Like Wayne's usually has the dopest beats ever.
This one was interesting.
It was very interesting, these beats.
Did you hear the guitar song?
Brother, I don't know what the fuck is that. I was like, yo. And I love Wayne, man. Wayne, he's a freaking icon. He's a legend. All that stuff, man. And it just doesn't give me Carter vibes to me. This seems like I had some loose packs and I want to put them in an album and just get, like, kind of some, let me get this shit out of here and then move on. And then at this point in your career, you got to have Nicki. You got to have Nicki and Drake on the album. Like, you got to. And and then there was the rumor that there was, like, they were coming out and they were going to be on the album. So that was, like, that had everybody actually waiting.
Right.
Like, and then when the song list came out, everybody's like, no, I don't care. They said Wayne and Drake is going to be on, I mean, Nicki and Drake is going to be on the album. Right. But, like, we got to.
I was thinking, like, even from a Drake side, I was like, from a Drake standpoint, is he going to be on Carter and then you kind of roll out for his album? Like, you know what I mean? I was like, and I didn't see it. I was like, shit. Hope they ain't beefing, man.
Listen, man, we're going to come back to this one. I'm not going to grade it yet. A little disappointed first initial reaction, but we're going to come back to it. Wayne is one of my favorites, so I don't want to kill him all the way. We'll talk about it after.
Right.
That's it. That's all I got. You got anything, man?
I got a few things, man. I want to shout out our Team Canada U16 team. They're playing Team USA tonight at 10. Isaiah Hamilton been putting on a show.
Best 14-year-old in the world, they said.
Well, 15.
15?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was watching the Venezuela game last night, and watching my boy Kenyon St. Louis. I think he dropped like 18, allowed 18. We needed that win, man. Isaiah got hurt, you know what I mean?
He's very
and
tough.
Everybody stepped up. It was a big win. And now we got the States. I think the last time we played the States, we got slapped by 60. 80?
Yeah.
So let's not have that happen tonight, guys. Please.
80 points.
You know what I mean? Lastly, you know, we've been shouting out the East End and the West End high schools for a minute now. You know what I mean? And a lot of folks be watching us and super grateful. I got a chance to meet up with some Milliken Mills alumni.
Shout out to Milliken.
So I got to shout out Milliken Mills, you know?
Yeah. East End, man, we love you, man. Don't ever get it twisted, man. We love a lot of the East End legends, man.
Right.
A lot of them are friends. So,
right.
You know, one of my best friends is Chris Exelis, man. He went to Mother Teresa.
So we
got to shout out to the East End, man.
And, you know, Shane James, obviously the golden boy. When you hear Milliken Mills, you think of Shane James.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there was guys before him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you got the Arnell Scotts of the world. You know what I mean? It was actually Denham Brown that hit me up and he was like, yo, Arnell Scott, we used to have our battles and stuff. You need to shout him out, bro.
Yes.
And I was like, my bad, nice. Arnell Scott, like, you know what I mean? Shout out Gary Lewis. You know what I mean?
Lewis.
He's been putting in work for a minute representing Milliken Mills. I got to shout him out, man. Who else is there, man? Corey Murrayhead. You know what I mean? I'm probably missing some of the names, but I had to go out of my way today and with my busted leg and shout out Milliken Mills. You know what I mean?
Mills, man.
They're one of the top. They were one of the top ranked schools.
They were
in the city, in the province, in the country.
Mother Teresa, Milliken,
right?
Who else? I'm missing some. Hill.
West Hill.
West Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah. They got some hoopers, man. Let's not get it twisted.
Let's not get it twisted, man.
So
my question out to y'all is, who are your top 5 East End schools, man, of all time? You know what I mean? Talk to us in the comments, man. I need to know.
I
need to know, man.
Yes, talk to us in the comments, man. Top 5 East End schools. Talk to us in the comments. It's gonna be good.
I think so,
It's gonna be good. Yes,
hey,
sir.
Yo, man, just continue.
But hold on, before we go, just a quick shout out. CEBL is back.
Yes.
So
man.
we got to give these guys a shout out. I was just at the game last night, man. Unfortunately, Scarborough, they took the L. They lost to Winnipeg last night. Winnipeg, they're 2-5 right now. So Right now, Montreal's leading the charge in the East. They're 3-0. Niagara's 4-2. Scarborough's 3-2. Ottawa's 2-3. Brampton's 1-6 this year. And I just want to give a shout out to the CEBL, man. They're getting so much better. The league is getting bigger. It's getting better. They're drafting a lot of the local kids. I'm seeing, you got a couple of guys from Humber College, like Malik and those guys got drafted.
Yeah, nice.
I was just watching, what's his name? Oh my God, from Niagara Falls. I'm not from the hood, man. David Walker for Scarborough, shooting star. So we're seeing a lot of the local guys that we've seen, coming up in the ranks, playing in these leagues, and we're also seeing them doing the GM jobs as well and the coaching.
Yes.
Like Mike, he was coaching Scarborough. He's shooting Scarborough shooting stars now.
Right.
He's the head coach over there. He's just the head coach at
Royal Crown.
At Royal Crown.
Yeah,
now he's over there.
Right.
Chris Exis is the GM.
Right.
He's the GM pretty much. At
everywhere.
Royal Crown. So now he's the GM. So I want to get, and then you had Javon Shepard, who was doing the GM. I don't know if he's doing it this year with Ottawa. You had Jermaine Anderson, who was doing it for Brampton. Yes. I think he's still there.
Yes.
And you had Antu at one point. He was the general manager over there at Niagara. So I love it. Coaches, GMs, I'm seeing a lot of my friends doing this thing. It's just a proud moment. The league is getting bigger and bigger. Shout out to CEBL. Yo, man, we got to get my boy on.
And let's shout out Hoop Queens, man. They dropping today, man.
Yes, we got to shout out Hoop Queens. I'll be there today in the attendance. Shout out to Kisa K, man. I think this is year 4, I want to say, for her. 3 or 4. But she's doing her thing, man. Mrs. CEO, man. She's doing it big. It's today.
We need you on the couch, man.
Yeah, for sure. She got to pull up. It's today. It's at the Golden Ring.
Golden Ring. Yeah.
Yes, tonight. Not tonight, but the game started at 2:30 or 2 o'clock. 2 or 2:30, one of the two. But I'll be there in attendance, man. Representing Hip Hop Hoops, getting that amazing.
You got to hold it
content,
down
man.
for me, man.
No, I got you.
I'd love to be out there.
I got you. I
don't know if you guys have enough handicap parking.
But that's all I got, man.
Yo, man, just continue to support, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend, man. Hip Hop Hoops, baby. We're here to stay, man. We ain't going nowhere.
Let's get it.
We out.